Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Viva Bastardo show brought to you by the Hagerty Podcast Network. I am Mr. Enthusiast, inventor of electricity, the pregnant pause, and the awkward goodbye. Today we have Brynn Wallner here from DIMEPIECE on Instagram. She started this Instagram feed dedicated towards women and watchers. We have unmitigated, fantastic weapons-grade banter. So check it out and release the hounds. Are you going to do that on the DIMEPIECE? So wait, we should introduce you. First of all, Brynn, thank you so much for coming. Brynn is the founder, am I right? Mm-hmm. I've done a lot of research, obviously, on DIMEPIECE. Now, first of all, I'm so happy because this has been kind of like a sausage-centric podcast. So I'm so happy to have a woman here, someone who's. So do you want to talk a bit about what you do? Because I find it admirable. Whatever it is you do, I don't really know what you do, but it's amazing. It's great. No, go on. Tell the three listeners.
Yes. Hi, three listeners. DIMEPIECE, I am the founder of SheEO. It is a platform dedicated to all things women and watches, and it started as an Instagram account in the summer of 2020, and now it's a website too. But all the action is happening on the Instagram page.
Isn't that where all the action? You're not going to do a blog then? like it's the early 2000s.
Oh my God, like a Tumblr.
Yeah. You should open a MySpace page. I feel like that would get a lot of traction right now.
It's not a bad idea.
Just brainstorming, Brynn.
Yeah, so, thank you.
Thanks for that amazing idea. Yeah. Thank you. I'll bear that in mind. But this is great because women are clearly underrepresented it is such a sausagey universe. Mm-hmm. And it's so nice to see someone representing women and to be doing what you're doing. So presumably you've had a long history with watches through your father, is that right? He was sort of...
Are you punking me right now?
Yeah. Wait, did you use is that an MTV show from the 90s?
Yes, or the 2000s.
I haven't even heard that. I haven't heard that word in like 20 years.
Ashton Kutcher is on the brain because I just watched the Von Dutch documentary. But
you digress.
But I digress.
Isn't he always on the brain?
Yeah.
It was slightly.
Oh, what a hot toddy. No, I had no background in watches at all.
I know.
So you were punking
there was.
me.
It was just a little amusement.
Oh,
a little
from my
amuse-bouche.
father.
From your father.
I'm still getting to know you, Phil. I can't quite pick up the nuances in your
Everything
humor.
I say is humorous for the most part. Or at least it's humorous to me and no one else.
Yes.
Just put it that way.
You're as dry as a saltine.
That's right. So why watches then?
Well, why watches? I was working at Sotheby's.
Yep.
You're familiar. In 2019, I was doing editorial content for them, and then the watches department tapped me to create some watch content, and I was like, I'm happy to help, but I don't know anything about watches. And my boss was just like, it's okay, because you can commission out the writing, just produce and edit and look for photos and make it fun. And I fell in love with watches very naturally.
So what's the thing? What is it about them? It's so, because I was trying to think about that the other day, like what is it about watches? And it's specific watches for me that just kind of make me tingle. Do you know what I mean? Like fussy dials. Mm-hmm. Just there's something, there's that psychological disorder where people can't look at things with like a lot of dots on it or something. What's that called?
I know what you're talking about.
I have like the reverse of that.
The reverso.
Yeah, the zing. So was there something, do you remember, like was there a watch in particular that kind of got everything started?
Well, we were doing a series called GOAT. Right. You're old, so...
So about animals, farmyard animals, wonderful.
Greatest of all time for the listeners who are unaware of the acronym.
Who are my age.
Yeah. And I was learning about the Patek Philippe Nautilus.
Okay.
Again.
Right.
I saw this watch. I learned about the history. I learned who Gerald Genta was.
Right.
And I kind of read the history and I read about who wore it early on. But then when
Who did wear it early on?
That's a good question.
Your father,
Yes,
which is why I got into it, because he had you should create a whole alternate history of Brynn and your descent into watch.
Yes, Brynn and her rich daddy.
That's right.
I forget who wore it early on, but
Carrot
I was Carrot Top.
Yeah, big proponent of the Aquanaut early on. No.
Oh my God, between the two of you.
You should just be on a regular basis.
Honestly. You can take my seat, please.
Carrot Top. Are you part of the podcast?
I chime in every now and then. It's like a peanut gallery. I'm like the Heckle and Jekyll in the balcony of Muppets.
The old guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Matt, when I just go off into the weeds, Matt goes, Phil.
Bring it back and bring it back.
Come back.
So anyway, my father, Carrot Top, wore the Nautilus really early on in my childhood. No, I was image searching who wears the Nautilus, and you kind of saw, I don't know, who wears the Nautilus. What struck me was a photo
Go on.
of Rihanna.
Wasn't she wearing a Midas?
Well, she wears a lot of watches, but
I know she's a watch fiend, right?
Yeah, there's this photo of her.
Her father, Carrot Top, also loved the Aquanaut.
Indeed.
Indeed.
There was a photo of Rihanna, and she was at the airport, very off-duty, and she was wearing a...
Hang on. If you're super famous, are you ever really off-duty? I feel like you're never really off-duty.
Honestly...
Was she off-duty?
Her outfit was giving off-duty, because she was in a sweatsuit.
Right,
But it was Palace. So it was,
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's a
Remember
British...
Charles Dickens Knows Nothing?
Yes. It's a British
what
skate
say you,
brand.
sweat? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh no, we have to educate him on Palace now.
Oh, no.
It's a gay brand, you said?
No.
Oh, sorry. The ears are not what they once were,
Hold on.
madam.
We can do this. All right, Phil.
Yeah.
You know Supreme.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
British Supreme, basically.
Okay.
Exactly.
It's like the lazy way to explain it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
The geezer has grasped the concept.
Yeah.
You would love the descriptions of the products on the website.
Oh, okay.
Pretty cool.
Okay.
So she's wearing, picture this, at the airport, she's wearing a Palace sweatsuit. So
Okay.
it's like, it's off duty, but it's still a look.
Right.
And then on her wrist is a Nautilus.
Okay.
And I was just blown away by that image, because I was like, I feel like nobody's talking about this.
About the Nautilus?
Yeah.
This
on
is before...
Rihanna.
Right. Oh, I see. Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when you Google women in watches, it's like Ellen DeGeneres,
Right.
Jennifer Aniston,
Right.
Victoria Beckham,
Right.
and I feel like that's it.
Okay.
And then I saw Rihanna wearing
So
this watch.
that was the trigger for everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah. I mean,
And
in so many words.
But Dimepiece has done extraordinarily well, hasn't it? I mean, it's kind of exploded.
Yeah. I mean,
Don't be all casual.
no, because everybody's like, oh my God, Dimepiece is blown up. And I'm like, well, it's only 25,000 followers.
Well, I mean, that's still. But I feel like you get there's a lot of presence or présence as your friend. What's his face again? What's his name? The geezer you were with.
The geezer.
Yeah, come on.
A friend?
Stad.
Oh, Stad.
How did okay, yeah. I was so jealous. For everyone, just to contextualize, Brynn and you also have a podcast now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to give that
Watch out.
Do you want, you're coming after the 3 listeners.
I know. Yes.
Do you want to talk about it and then I'll just edit it out later?
What?
The mention of your podcast, I'll just cut that. There'll be a weird silence.
Yeah. Tell us about your podcast. Anyway, so Shad guy was really nice. I started a podcast, but where were we?
You're talking about Rihanna.
We're talking about Rihanna.
And the Nautilus and how that was kind of like the trigger moment for you.
Oh, yeah.
So would you say that for Dimepiece, that's interesting because what you're doing is are you kind of rooting through popular culture to find interesting women wearing interesting watches? Is that part of what you're doing?
Yeah, I would say that's the gist of it. Just kind of highlighting different types of people wearing watches.
Right.
You know, in a maybe unorthodox way, maybe not a wrist shot, but a paparazzi photo of Rihanna at the airport.
Right.
And, that's just one element of Dimepiece where it's like celebrity watch spotting. But
what are the other elements?
I feel like
your father has a column.
Yeah, my father's column, Carrot Top.
What are other parts of that universe?
Well, as I've been integrated more into the watch world, getting invited to Watches and Wonders.
Right.
My first time in Geneva.
I know. I watched that whole thing with. I mean, I don't see a lot of invitations for this old white man. It's weird being asked to Watches and Wonders.
There are plenty there.
I think it's almost entirely old white geezers, right?
In suits.
Yeah, in suits.
Although more people are kind of bringing a casual fit to the
Palace,
Palexpo.
Palace, maybe some Palace
Maybe
sweatsuits.
a little Palace, not a sweatsuit, but maybe there's a Palace shirt that
Right.
somehow made its way
I was
past
following
security.
your hijinks in
Yeah.
Geneva.
Yeah, Geneva was hilarious, but I feel like I'm getting invited and kind of notified more and more of watch releases, so I'll shout those out, but with a point of view that's maybe not seen before.
Well, so that's interesting. So, do you feel? I don't. No one is asking me my opinion about anything.
No.
I'm just giving it unsolicited.
Yes.
I'm like an angry old guy, just like yelling, sticking his head out the window, just shouting at people. That's basically my online profile. So I have no allegiance to people. I just talk about things I like or I don't like. But do you feel like when you're brought out to things or to talk about things, you have to sort of be nice in some way, or you're trying to be as authentic as possible?
Well, I definitely strive for authenticity.
Right.
One of the remaining commodities we have in this modern society. But it's definitely...
It's tricky, right?
It's tricky because, I mean, I'm getting flown out internationally by all these brands.
Right.
But I do have...
Business or...
Business.
Oh, really?
The lie flat lifestyle.
Oh, that just depresses me.
I mean...
You know what? When I go business, do you eat all the food they offer you?
I do not.
What?
I think it's kind of disgusting.
What? Oh, I love plain food.
Oh my God.
But I love business plain food.
I know. I hear.
No?
The only nice thing about that is like you can be like, hey, listen, just give me the steak, none of the other stuff, and I just get it like dry.
Give me the steak and feed it to me.
Pretty much.
Well, I think it's a bit excessive because you'll be flying to, for example, Geneva. And I'll eat the dinner, and then they wake you up 3 hours later, and they're like, breakfast time. I'm like,
Cheese plate,
absolutely
madam?
not.
How dare you?
I have to be, with it. I can't be like in a food coma by the time I land.
You
And I
can
have
have a
to
like
schmooze.
continental breakfast. You don't have to have like a steak and eggs.
I know, but you're just sitting there. Like you're not exerting energy.
Do you exercise every day? Is this what I feel like? This is the vibe I'm getting. You need
I'm
to
kind
be.
of a fit queen.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well,
But it's just for
I like the way you do.
I
What do you
feel
do
like
that-
I'm so busy, so I need something to kind of clear my head.
What do you do that's fit?
I do yoga
Oh, I need to do yoga.
and I walk, and that's it.
I haven't been able to touch my toes in like 20 years.
Oh man.
When we do it at the gym, I'm like 3 feet away from them.
You
It's like I'm
gotta-
waving from a passing ship to the shore.
You know what we need to do? We need to put business class tickets at your toes.
I would reach for, you know what, actually, just a business class meal. I would reach for it and just, because you know why? It's all so nicely arranged.
It is. It's really cute. I always take pics.
Do you do the overhead?
Yes.
Do you take pics of food?
Yeah. But not in like an annoying way.
What's an annoying way?
A
the
little
flash
je ne
on.
sais
Like you
quoi.
said, you know what, actually.
with the flash on is the annoying way. But listen, the number one rule is camera eats first.
Camera. Yes, spoken like a true blogger.
But I don't understand. Like, I'm curious. I feel like pictures of food never look good. Am I the only person who thinks? Is it because I'm Charles Dickens and I'm just like, there's a certain cutoff where after you're 72, you don't see how good food pictures look?
I don't know. It depends on how much you love food.
I like food. How
Yeah.
dare you? You're implying I don't like, because I'm English, isn't it? Is that what you're saying?
Bangers and mash.
I do enjoy bangers and mash, I will say.
Oh,
Are you a massive foodie?
no, I wouldn't. I would never use that word.
What would we use?
But I love food.
Food enthusiast.
I like to eat.
So before I got married, it's probably safe to say I was not really a foodie. Like when I was single geezer, I would probably order.
Oh, watch out.
I would order chicken fried rice from this place around the corner from me in East Village 3 to 4 times a week.
Oh my God.
I'm actually impressed you're alive.
I'm kind of a cybernetic organism, like Dick Cheney.
Oh. Sweet old Dick Cheney.
Yeah.
But wait, so I want to get back to the dime piece though.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're now
we're
way
in the weeds.
we're-
Now we're good.
Here's the thing, I allow a little indulgence.
Yes. Yeah.
And then he
No.
tases me back into line.
And then if I
Okay.
don't think it's going to come back, then it's a little taser. But
Yeah.
I want to get back to the dime piece thing because it's kind of interesting, right? That you can all of a sudden just build a brand.
Well, clearly there's a massive demand for it, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
what's
mean-
the reaction been? There must be an amazing reaction from women, presumably.
Yeah. I was shocked because I created Dime Piece kind of understanding in my head that it would be a bigger picture thing. I would create a website and, see where it goes from there. But even at like 500 followers, Cara Barrett,
Sure.
I'm blanking.
Cara Barrett has worked at Hodinkee, is a very good writer. She started her own watch brand,
Yep, Parchi.
Parchi for kids, which is really lovely.
Yeah, she's great. And she somehow found Dime Piece, the Instagram account, when it was like, nobody was following this account. And
Right.
I was just like, oh my God, Cara Barrett just followed me.
Right.
And then she reposted a post of whatever I posted on Dime Piece. She reposted it on the Hodinkee Instagram page. And overnight, I got like 1,000 new followers.
Isn't that amazing when that happens?
Yeah. I was like, oh, no, I'm not ready.
Well, but wait,
Yeah.
the logo's not finished.
Yeah, I'm like, this was just supposed to be a soft launch. All of a sudden, I have people like Mr. Enthusiast following
who
me.
doesn't want Mr. Enthusiast following?
No, it was intimidating because I was like, I really don't know that much about watches. I'm kind of using this as a learning tool for myself and kind of.
But you know what? I mean, I don't know much about watches either.
Really?
I've been only at it collecting for 7 years, really.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If that. I mean, I'm always happy to confess my utter ignorance in
Right.
things because I feel like, why not? There's nothing wrong with not knowing.
Yeah.
And plus, okay, so let's talk a little bit. What about? I'm really interested in clearly you like Cartier. Cartier.
Oui.
So, is that your all-time top fave?
Fave watch brand?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would have to say so.
Is it? Well, why? Why? No one likes Cartier. It's such an obscure brand.
I know. Well, I feel like from the jump, Cartier watches were always very gender neutral and
Right.
they appealed to,
That's interesting. You're right.
right?
Yeah.
Like the tank. Andy Warhol wearing the tank,
Yeah.
Jackie Kennedy wearing the tank. And that was, later on in like the 50s. But I feel like the image that the brand has cultivated for itself has always been reliant on who's wearing it. And I've always admired the people who wear Cartier.
Right.
And the design is just so timeless and it's not trying too hard. And, if I came into watches knowing virtually nothing, I'm going to come at from the angle that I kind of bring, which is, a little more image based, fashion forward, culture forward. And I feel like Cartier ticks all those boxes. They have amazing history.
But also,
Louis-
I find them so innovative now. Like the things they're making now. Actually, them and Vuitton.
Oh, Vuitton.
Vuitton.
Oui.
Your French accent's really good. You could be a female Stade guy.
Oh.
Do you not think you could do
Je
that?
pratiquais.
So, but I find them really inventive, and in part, I wonder if it's because they're kind of free from like the idea of, even though they're serious horology, they're not serious horology in the way like Patek is maybe. They're much more whimsical.
Yeah, I feel like they have the license to be creative, and
Right,
that's baked
because they
into
have so
like
much
their
fashion involved.
heritage. Yeah,
That's right.
Fashion, but
I actually think that's interesting insight. Actually, that I think the fashion gives them license to be inventive.
yeah,
In a way that a lot of I feel like it would be so great to see Patek or Rolex have a similar creative flair in a way.
definitely. I would love to see that more from watchmaking in general. Just
Yeah.
kind of more creativity and not so serious about the horology. But
You know what I was
obviously-
looking at today weirdly? Do you know the speaking of the Hublot Hublot
Speaking of shod guy?
Hublot yeah the Murakami.
Oh yeah.
Do you like that?
Oh
no. Do you know that is like the 21st century no?
Does your daughter say
Yeah. No, she's very blunt with me.
Oh, okay.
She will just tell me that what I'm saying is shit.
She's like, no.
That's rubbish, Dad.
Oh. Well, I don't think it's rubbish, but that kind of art is like not really my vibe.
Really? What's your
Like something that Drake would collect and put in his house is not really, like a cause toy. Not that Murakami is like
Right.
that, but I feel like it's been co-opted by
Maybe.
certain types of people to have
Now,
that.
now I
image.
feel shame. I was,
No.
You know what? I didn't
Well,
like
tell
that watch.
me your
I didn't,
thoughts. No,
I didn't like it. No, I never
Stop.
liked it. I hate
Stop.
that watch.
No, you
I was
guys-
just actually
Phil
building
likes
up
to camp out for these, hype drops. So you're really hurting.
But
his
he doesn't
feelings.
know
Well,
what
you know what? 'Cause
Palace
I
is.
just I just found myself looking at it this morning on Chrono 24 and going, oh, okay, that's like 230 grand.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's something about it that I sort of found appealing. I mean,
Yeah.
look, I'm a big Murakami fan.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess because Hublot
Hublot.
is so maligned.
Maligned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like and I mean, really, if you said, like, if you come out and say, oh, I like this Hublot watch, people just, although I kind of think they forget that in the 80s it was quite revolutionary, wasn't it? I'm looking.
I like that
I'm
you're looking at
I'm
me
I'm
for
looking at Matt.
It's like the Spider-Man meme.
Right, yeah, right. It's you.
Yeah, you guys, someone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a brand that I hold in high regard, but I think it's because it had the heyday like the mid aughts.
Yeah.
people were rapping about
No, but
it.
in the 08s, in the 80s though, they were when Jean-Claude Beaver. We'll just leave. We'll leave
That's
that.
not a real name.
Yeah, is that how you say his name? Have I mispronounced it?
Vivier.
Oh, that sounds.
I have
sounds-
no idea.
That sounds a lot.
I
less,
just
that
pulled
sounds,
that out of nowhere.
That sounds much less cancelable.
We'll go with that.
Beaver.
Beaver, Jean-Claude Beaver. God damn!
Yeehaw.
I love this watch, Jean-Claude.
Yeah, well, but Hublot, there is a person for Hublot, and I don't.
And you don't want to meet them.
Well, actually, I went on a Hublot press trip, and I met really nice Hublot collectors, and they're very interesting people.
I'm sure.
And I acknowledge that not everything has to be for me, and I do like the creativity, and I loved the intention behind the Murakami collab. But the kind of creativity that I would like to see is just purely from like a design standpoint, and not so much like a collaboration.
Okay, so can we talk about, for instance, I think was it Cartier who just came out with that watch with the squeezable
Oh yeah, the coussin,
coussin. The coussin.
which
I like
means
how the
pillow.
Yeah.
in French.
So for those who don't know, it's a pillowcase watch, but it yields to the touch. Like you can squeeze it.
it does
and,
yield.
and it's like a spring mesh, right? Have you seen it?
I was
You were
making
squeezing
it yield in.
Yield watch yield.
Yeah, I was pushing that thing all over the Palexpo.
I feel like it would be. I feel like it's. Is it really satisfying to squeeze?
Yeah, but it doesn't yield as much as you would want.
This could be the most odd conversation I've ever had. How does it yield, madam, the case?
Wait, so give us some context. So what is a pillow?
It's a pillow. Well, do you want to do it?
Well, it's a watch, and I think it was a reissue. I think
A
that was,
pillowcase watch is a pillow-shaped case,
yeah,
like
it's
an actual
square-
pillow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
How-
a,
we-
like a re-
Is this not saying?
do you not
Yeah,
understand
the
what-
hand gesture that people that are listening are not
This is-
seeing
I feel
is
like-
also not telling me pillow.
This is saying something else.
It's like a little
it's
tiny
goatsy.
pillow, and when you press it, it squishes like a pillow would. And it has a dial in it, but like he said, it's encased in like a squishy mesh. So
So they're kind of
so there's
they're
not a crystal. It's like a.
no, there's no.
It's like a. Is
I'm
it
trying
full
to
of water?
picture it now.
It's a waterbed
No,
watch.
it's like a hollow. It's like the case is on top of. I actually can't picture exactly the
I'll be doing some
makeup
Googling
of
over
it
here.
right now. Yeah, pull
do you
it
want
up.
do you want a matcha, by the way?
I'm good.
You
I
sure?
told you I'll be up all night.
Oh, that's Grandma Brynn. God damn, I got a
I'm
crochet.
very sensitive to caffeine and substances.
But I love that idea that they did with that watch,
Yeah.
the pillow thing. It was just, I don't know, like it was surprising. I mean, for
Yeah.
me, as an artist, I value imagination and
Yes.
is that it? No,
No,
that's
so
not it. What?
he just pulled up a photo of what could be the coussin. And
No,
it's that, but it sits on top of like a mesh, springy, hollow.
That's that. I don't think that's it.
That's one version of
Oh,
it,
it is.
though.
Oh. Look how high tech we are.
Oh my God, yeah.
Lazy editing right here.
No expense
Yeah.
spared on
No
the Viva
expense.
Bastardo podcast.
Yes.
I actually realized that Viva Bastardo may not be the best name for a podcast.
Why not?
Because I asked this guy if he wanted to be on the podcast, his PR team, and like, what's the name of the podcast? Is it Viva Bastardo? And there was this crickets after it.
Oh, it's not very family friendly.
Yeah, I feel like maybe.
Bastardo?
Yeah, I feel,
Well, no, it's not. I mean, if you're someone who his father walked out, it's not.
It's a touchy subject.
It's a touchy subject. I understand.
If you're from the 16th century.
Right.
Yeah, fair point. Bastard.
Okay, so the squishy watch.
What other things strike your fancy horologically?
Well, I mean, it took a minute for me to kind of get into the world and to understand things beyond just the way that they look. These objects.
Right. Do you care about
watches.
movements and all that kind of? Because I don't really care about that stuff.
I'm starting to care. The more you learn, the more you.
You're progressing past me, clearly. But wait for me, Brynn.
I mean, like, are you familiar with the Grand Seiko Spring Drive?
Are you familiar? No. No, I don't really know what that is.
Well, it's going to be hard for me to explain.
To a layman.
To a layman, but also to myself, because I'm like, I know what it is, but I don't know what it is. And
is this like the story when you were talking about the people who wore the Nautilus, but then you didn't remember the people?
Oh, yeah. I'm kind of inconsistent in my knowledge.
I'm like that too.
I'm just not very encyclopedic in the way that I cannot remember a reference number.
Can we just go back to that topic for 1 second?
Yeah.
I find it really like the very iconic watches of the 70s, like Beta 21 Patex or Rolex Maidai. Ooh. I would be so curious to know who bought those watches because they were so kind of radical for the time.
Yeah.
Like, who was wearing those watches in period?
Oh my God.
Or even like the Nautilus, for instance, because that was a radical watch in period, right?
Well, Elvis Presley wore the Midas.
I know. And so did Liberace have one?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I could see it though.
Oh, John Wayne had one.
John Wayne had a Midas?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It seems kind of off-brand.
I know.
The strong silent type was such a flashy watch.
I know. Maybe there was another side to him.
Ooh. Lady in the street.
I don't know what that means, but I like it.
You know what that means.
I don't know what it means. What does it mean?
He doesn't know the second part.
Lady in the street.
Freak in the sheets.
It is amazing how little I know about what's happening in the world today.
It's better that way.
It's just,
if you knew everything, you would be too powerful.
Would I be like Sauron from Lord of the Rings?
Yes,
just a floating eye.
Yeah.
So, Phil, you're going to come into the podcast. Phil's not here. It's just a large eye in front of a microphone. It's going to talk to you.
Not terrifying whatsoever.
And I start when I get too close.
Hold on, though. So this list of people that had the Rolex
King Midas,
right? Were those given out through the ADs, or was it actually from like corporate itself?
Well, I know that the blurb on the Midas was they didn't market it. They had designed it for like kings and presidents is how they market it. But I don't know how it was.
I don't know.
What I'm saying is that somewhere there's a list.
Right. I feel like you couldn't walk into an AD like, give me that Midas and whatever. Like I feel like you had to.
Well, they were made in very limited quantities, right?
The early ones, they made 800.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
800 is not a number you can't keep track of in terms of names. Like I feel like they have it written somewhere in a vault.
We need to track down the archives and see who owned this.
Because Rolex loves to open their archives.
And then look at their Instagram.
No, I think that's the call to action. I think, put it out to the universe and or the audience.
Yeah. Well, that's the type of creativity and design though, like the King Midas, the 70s, those shapes and silhouettes. Like I would love to see more watch brands kind of going back to that.
I am totally on board with that.
I mean, I love the Royal Oak. Happy birthday. Happy 50th birthday, Royal Oak. Iconic design. Gerald Genta killed it. But I'm like, why can we see more watches from AP that are reminiscent of what they had going on in the 70s?
I'm a massive 70s geezer.
Yes, and I love that about you.
Well, it's the only thing really that you like about me. Everything else is disgusting and despicable.
No.
Was that an Australian name?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. But I'm with you all the way. Like I love how sculptural, how architectural they were, and how audacious they were.
Yeah, and it's coming back in fashion, and I feel like I'm a broken record always talking about this, but it's like you see what's in style now. You got Harry Styles. He's wearing a little blouse.
He's amazing, Harry Styles. Like I don't really. The only reason I know Harry Styles because I see him on Instagram on the Reels thing at 4 a.m. when I'm just scrolling after having had the 14th pee of the night.
Yes.
And First of all, he seems to be a guy just exploding with charm and charisma.
Totally.
But I love his style.
Yeah.
Like the blouse thing.
I mean, it's so Keith Richards.
Yeah,
It's Mick
kind of,
Jagger.
right?
Yeah. It's like swinging 60s.
So is he a 70s watch geezer?
Well, no. And I'm like, all these guys are trying to dress like Harry Styles. But then they'll wear like a Submariner, which goes well with what you're wearing.
No offense, of course.
But you're not wearing a little blouse and a pearl necklace.
I mean, it's pearl snaps.
Pearl snaps.
Can you just put them around your neck and then...
I'm just saying that the watches that we have kind of glorified and hyped up, like the steel sports watches, they don't go quite as well with what's in vogue right now in fashion.
You're right.
And, there's this whole wave of like androgynous dressing that we saw with rock stars.
That's so interesting. You are so right, Brynn. It's fascinating, actually, because what's happened is for the longest time, we have these kind of hyper-masculine watches, right?
The Hublots.
The Hublot. But the steel sports Rolex is like, it's kind of, it's masculine. It's kind of, it's sort of brawny, not like the paper towels. And those watches are not. Like smaller watches, sculptural watches are not seen that, but you're right that they would be more in sync with kind of the way that everything is kind of androgynous now.
Yeah, like the gender fluid.
Like I love wearing small watches now.
Yeah, and that's a new thing for you? Newish?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is 36.
Yeah, which a lot of guys are like, oh yeah, it's so tiny, it's 36.
No, but now I have like 28.
Oh, really? You wear that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that.
Or 30. I mean, well, also, I feel like watch conversations are like cancel adjacent.
Cancel adjacent?
Yeah, to like when you, like I'll be on the phone to some geezer, and I'll be like, how big's your wrist?
Yeah.
And then my wife would be like, excuse me?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, it's like weirdly, like, they're like strangely sexual, not sexual.
No, I had this exact moment today. My friend was like, well, when you shoot it head on, it looks bigger versus when you look in the mirror. And I was like, what are we talking about right now?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, nothing.
Oh, yeah, just watch.
Well, also the thing that people misunderstand, particularly about 70s watches with the integrated bracelet, is that when they're integrated, often they wear so much bigger.
They do. And I was just on, not to brag, but Vacheron Constantin.
You're just talking to Jean-Claude Beaver.
No, Vacheron Constantin flew me out to the Hamptons for a little ladies' watch soiree.
They flew you out?
Yeah, helicopter, baby.
Fuck. You've really done this all wrong.
How many fucking follows do I have to get to? I just want, like, I'll just take an Uber. I would take an Uber, like, uptown.
Like, I'll get myself there.
I would Uber you to the studio if you want.
Would you?
Yeah.
I'm taking the train. I'm doing Easy Pass.
Well, I'm still an everyday, normal kind of gal.
You're still in touch with the little people.
Yeah, I'm still Jenny from the block. But I happen to be flying.
Blading to the Hamptons.
Yeah, blading to the Hamptons. But, and I tried on the 222, the Vacheron Constantin.
That's pretty
from the
amazing.
70s.
Yeah.
I tried that on in Geneva, but I tried it on again in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
And
As one does.
It looked so big, but that's because it's an integrated bracelet. And the
Did you
Royal
shoot-
Oak is similar.
Does it look large from head on?
Yeah. And in the mirror. Kid you not.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
It's the helicopter talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This whole podcast has just depressed me.
Why?
You've been at it for 2 years. You're being bladed out to the Hamptons.
But-
I'm easy passing on a sweaty
you
train with
started-
no AC, sitting next to some guy.
No, easy pass.
Easy pass, hooray!
You're still throwing coins into the toll booth.
I am. That's right. Like a handful of change.
Oh, pockets jingling.
That's amazing. But you're right. I mean, I wish they would be. I wish they would be more audacious. I really do.
Yeah.
Can you think of a new watch that kind of, tickles your fancy, that does something audacious like that?
Yeah. Well, I will say the 222.
But it's not a new watch.
It's not a new
It's
watch.
a reissue.
But I'm not above a reissue.
No, okay, but let's just say new design.
New design.
Like, do you like Renaissance, for instance? I'm a big fan of those
What is
geezers.
this?
What is this you speak of?
What is this?
Someone sent me this the other day.
I did.
That's you.
Is that Alabaster Projects?
Is that what that is?
I have no
Yeah.
idea. Is it?
Alabaster
Do you like
Industries.
that?
Sorry. I mean, it's a mod. So they
Yeah.
take watches and then they modified them with like this insane design.
Well, you know what? Actually, when I saw it initially, I don't know. What do you make of that?
What, like a
That
mod?
what you just saw. That.
I mean, it's not for me, but I feel like customization gets a really bad rep. But there are certain people doing it, like Bamford.
Right.
You had him.
Yeah.
Was he here?
No, we did it in England. Oh. This show is international.
You were across the pond?
I took a subway, easy class, no expense spared.
Good.
I went to freighter. Tramp steamer.
The Titanic?
Tramp steamer in the cargo hold.
No.
Next to some sardines for 3 months, and then
But the modified watch thing is actually interesting, right? Because you're talking about like people being a bit more audacious. Are the matcha?
Yes, please,
Are the
sir.
matcha? There you go.
Thank you.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna be up all night.
You're not going to sleep at all.
Shit.
That's right.
No,
I'm
but
crazy.
when you talk about the modified watch thing, right? It is kind of a way of getting more design
Yeah.
into things that are like, if you see someone with like chrome hearts,
Which I love.
Rolex, right?
Yeah.
Like people love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Is that the crazy band?
Yeah, the bracelet.
Yeah, you'll see the Mad Paris stuff, which is
I actually,
all
you know who
black.
I think is doing really interesting Rolex stuff. I think the most successful is Artisan de Genève.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Are those the ones that do like the full skeleton?
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
but to me, they're just beautifully done.
Yeah. They do a really good job.
But I don't know if they're audacious, but they're really lovely.
They're audacious. I feel like any sort of, as soon as you're touching a Rolex, that requires some audacity.
I know from experience.
Yeah. I got to go to their little mini workshop in Geneva.
Artisan de Genève?
Yeah.
What does that involve? Did they helicopter you from your hotel to the thing, and then they had caviar?
I took an
You should
Uber
just-
that I paid for.
It was a stretch Hummer with a jacuzzi. You should just rub it all in. Just rub it in, Brynn. Make it. No, I'm not jealous.
Well, I got there like normal people do.
Right, the little people.
Yeah, by ship. And, they gave me a personalized... I'm really...
Was it a cloak? Was it a personalized velvet cloak?
It was a little lab coat that they wore that they wear in the workshop.
You should have said cloak.
Cloak.
And then you know how like James Brown would start the concert, he'd get on one knee and then that's right.
Yes. No, but they're cool and I like what they're doing and I think
How much are they? Do you know I feel like there's zillions.
I actually don't know.
I feel like they're just
Definitely out of my price.
Let me ask you, what would be a reasonable price to you for one of those? If you didn't know anything else about it, like if you're like, okay, someone took this model.
I
Rolex
feel
and modified
like they're going to be charging. They have to be charging like 80, 90 grand at least. Don't you think? Or
I was going to guess 75.
yeah, don't you think?
I have no idea. Yeah, sure.
You're a woman of luxury. You have a sense of these things,
Wearing a steel Cartier cost me $3,400.
bro.
Bro.
I feel like you're ready to go. You want to have some aggro now.
I'm a little aggro.
You want to have some aggro.
Well, I didn't get my exercising in today. Need to blow off some steam.
I can't believe, for those of you who are, it is like 1,000 degrees. What was it? Was it real time? What was it?
Real feel.
Real feel. Mm-hmm. It's 98 real feel, 1,000 degrees. Mm-hmm. And Brynn is saying that she's going to bike across the bridge.
Well, by the time the sun will set,
it's not going to be an enjoyable experience.
it's so quick.
Why don't you take the
Take
bike
like
in the
5
subway
minutes.
across the bridge? I'm just brainstorming.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, going back. So new watch people doing new things. Anyone spring to mind?
This is
weren't
really,
ready for
this is hard for me because I don't know. I don't know.
I'm trying to think if I know.
It's a lot of the same,
Right.
a lot of reissues,
I know.
but I don't mind a reissue.
It gets my goat.
It gets your goat?
Yeah, because look, the reissue is to the watch world what the Marvel series, Marvel movies are to the movie industry. Like they are a no risk venture. You know what I mean? You have a proven audience. You know they're going to like it. They liked it the first time around. They're going to love the sequel.
Yeah.
And so I find that there's no imagination, no audacity, and I feel like, I don't know, just because I'm so obsessed with the idea of imagination, with the idea of innovation and daring.
Yeah.
And I really respect it, even when it doesn't work.
Yeah.
With the exception of maybe the Audemars Piguet 1159 or whatever, Code Brown or whatever that was. You know, You know the AP that remember when they did a redesign? You're very far from the mic now. Goodbye. They did a reissue. I mean, they did a whole like new 1159 code 1150. I'm just talking to myself.
Is this
like 2 years ago they launched it?
Oh, 2 years ago I wasn't in the watch world. So
Okay, well you could have come across it.
is it a Royal Oak?
No. It's a totally different design, they launched it with great fanfare, and it was a massive disaster at the time.
It's not an offshore.
No, it's none. It's a whole different, strand, DNA strand. I mean, I doff my cap to them for having a go, but I felt like they I mean, everyone said this, but it just looks like they kind of did a Daniel Wellington.
Oh no! Is it a time only watch?
No, I think there's chronographs. Have a look at it later on.
What's it called?
Code 1159.
Code 1159.
Code Brown.
Okay.
That was the project name.
I'll take a look.
When you're talking about audacity, though,
Yeah.
right? How do you feel about like a Jacob and Co. kind of watch with like a circus inside, like the whole circus moves, or it's like a scene from The Sopranos or some shit?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, and it plays The Godfather?
yeah. Like, I mean, that is.
They should play the cucaracha. That would be. I hate those.
You hate them?
So you want audacity, but then when someone does something audacious.
Well, because you know what, for me is I feel like, I just feel like they're not, like I feel like they're showy. I don't know, like I just, God, I'm at a loss for words. I feel like I feel like it's just, it's kind of like a Vegas show in there.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot of glitz, but I'm not impressed somehow.
Yeah.
It's like a low calorie snack. Do you know what do you think?
I mean, I like Jacob and Co. and I think he's an innovator.
Oh,
but he's
shamed
doing
again.
something again that's not for me. Like
Right.
I'm not gonna step out in like a 46 millimeter, like iced out, like whatever's going on. But I understand that there's a market for it and it is innovative. And I mean, similarly,
Do you think it's because I'm an old? Maybe it's because I'm like a crotchety old man.
I just think you have to remember that not everything is for Phil enthusiasts.
You're right. And I look, I'm all. Well, that's why I like the Murakami thing.
Yeah, which it's like, and I can respect their creation, and I respect that you like it, but I don't personally like it.
I mean, you know what it is for me. I guess with the Jacob and Co stuff, I feel like it's like I don't like the execution.
Yeah.
Like I don't like the finishing. I don't like the way it looks.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of. It seems like it's sort of ham-fisted to me. That's maybe why. Like you're right. It is audacious in a way.
Yeah.
But I feel like look, if he was, are you? This is okay. Here we go down a geezery rabbit hole. Are you familiar with the automatons of like the 17th, 18th century? Those incredibly complicated mechanical, like they'd be creatures, like
Like
it'd be
a bird?
Yeah, or like a little boy at
something that moves.
Yeah, that would like dip. He'd be sitting at a desk.
Yeah.
He would dip his pen and write a little note. Like, I mean, I wonder if that was like the Jacob and Co of the 18th century.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? I wonder if
Yeah.
there were geezers like me going, "This is far too
Yeah.
gauche.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is so showy."
Yeah.
But I feel like if it was executed in a more, I don't know. I mean, and you're right. I'm definitely not the market for that.
Do you think you could work with him and come up with something that
I'd
actually satisfied you?
I mean, it would be amazing to do that. I would love the opportunity.
Collab.
He's a big fan of the Mr.
Yeah.
Enthusiast Instagram.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
always messaging me going,
Scrolling.
bro.
I think, maybe we challenge you to go outside of your normal comfort zone.
Okay.
Yeah, find something you like.
And spend
Take the Jag to the diamond
400
district.
grand.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
On it.
Yeah, but I'm all for innovation. But my sensibility is very classic. So it's like, how do you achieve that kind of classic design without digging back into the archives? And
Well, I'm actually wrestling with that right now because I'm making a watch.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's inspired by, it's two things. It's brutalist architecture of the 60s and the 70s in particular, and the Midas.
Oh, cool.
But as you say, the trick with making things is I feel like there's so many people making watches that are copies.
Yeah.
So the trick is to synthesize things and then sort of excrete it out in a slightly new form. Do you know what I mean? Like you can say, okay, I can see where those references are, but then they've kind of hopefully gone beyond the thing that they were inspired by. And that's really tricky.
Yeah, it's so hard to do. I mean, it's hard to be original, period.
You know who's done a nice job of that is Unimatic.
Oh, really?
Do you know that brand? They're a micro brand that they sell really reasonable. Their watches cost like €600.
Yeah.
But they've kind of done that. They've absorbed all these influences from the past and then produced something that's really kind of beautiful in its own right.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And is it like a classic? Because I feel like there are a lot of independent watchmakers like the Max Busser, the De Bethune, or even like a Roger Dubuis. Like crazy
You love all
designs.
these. You love saying the names, don't you?
I do.
You do. You just get I feel like that's half the joy. That's 80% of the joy.
Indeed. But I'm like, I like what they're doing. I like where their head's at. It's very space age. But like, is Unimatic? Is that more totally, of a classic?
It's much less audacious in a way. It's much less odd, I guess I'd say. But they've just done it beautifully. That's the hardest thing I think to do creatively is to create your own language.
Yeah. And for me, less is more, and that's really hard to do.
Yeah, for sure.
You might like this brand then.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Did you get one of the Automobili Amos ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
They sent me one, which is actually that's my one. You're getting a helicopter to the Hamptons, but I did get a free watch.
He did get a very nice free watch sent to him by a company that makes a very cool limited production update, reissue almost, of a well-known car.
Oh.
Yeah.
A watch?
Well, they collaborated with a guy called Eugenio Amos has this company called Automobili Amos, and they kind of resto modded a Lancia Delta Integrale.
Now we're speaking French to you.
Yes.
Yeah. Now
Delta. Basically, it's a four-door hatchback from Italy back in the day.
There was a race, a rally, very famous rally car. Then they resto modded, and now they did this collab with this watch brand, Unimatic.
Oh, and so it's a watch inspired by the car.
No, it's a watch inspired by. You know what? We are so in the weeds now.
Well, okay, so it was basically, I think that guy probably got on the radar of Unimatic. He does.
Sure. Well, they're all Italian too.
Doesn't hurt.
Everyone knows each other over there. There's like 4 people in this.
But it was green, right? His signature color is green because your buddy Joel, who also has some nice watches.
Now we're in the weeds.
We're way
Thanks
in
for
the
coming,
weeds.
Brynn.
Have a good time. Well, no, I was trying to get to the color of it because it was green, wasn't it?
That's right.
Right, and green is a significant color for the Eugenio's.
That's his brand color, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, I'd like to take a look.
I'll send you some links.
Yeah.
I feel like
a photo of it.
Do you feel right now?
No, when you get home.
I feel like you know, like how when you're having a conversation and then you're trying to remember stuff and then you say, "Oh, let me find it," and then the conversation is ruined.
I hate that.
I hate it too.
I don't allow phones at the dinner table.
I feel like you're secretly a granny.
I am.
Because I'm a full grandpa, but I like that.
It's just
because it ruins the flow of everything, right?
Yeah.
When like, oh, hang on a minute, and then what happens is then you're looking for something and like, oh, hang on, I got a text.
Yeah.
Oh, I got an email, and then you start, and then you're gone.
I got a text.
You're an English street urchin.
Well, I
got a text.
I got a text.
Are you a woman of 1,000 voices?
Well,
I feel like you have a lot of accents.
Yes, I do.
No.
That's
That's amazing, actually. Because I lived in Australia for a while.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you know Andrew McCutcheon?
Yeah, because there's like 6 people there.
Yeah.
We're related. Wait, who is that?
He is the founder of Time and Tide.
Oh, he's on the podcast about effing time. Is that him?
Oh, yes, with George Bamford.
Yeah.
Such a small world.
And then what's his face? The other English, Jack.
I don't know
From Jack
the
and
other
Barker,
one.
or whatever. He has a podcast. I was watching him today.
Everybody's making a podcast.
I know.
We need to cut.
Yeah.
I'm like,
What's next? I feel like maybe shadow puppetry.
yeah.
Don't you think?
I was hoping marionettes.
Yeah. Why don't we do a watch marionette thing?
You're never going to the Hamptons.
Oh my God.
He doesn't understand the subtlety.
Yeah.
You gotta.
In Times Square with like little papier-mâché watches. Good day,
Right,
sir.
Swatch is going to take you to Times Square on the A train. The rest of us.
I don't know. I feel like Javanese shadow puppetry, papier-mâché watches, marionettes. This is the way to go.
Yes.
I mean, Podcasts are like bloody blogs now.
I know, it's crazy. I'm embarrassed that I started one.
What's the name of your podcast?
It's called Killing Time with Brynn and Malika.
Bleep. That will be a.
Oh yes.
Wait, who's your partner in this?
So her name is Malika Crawford, a fellow Brit.
I'm sure we know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're probably related.
We
have the same dentist.
Oh, well, you both have great teeth.
You're just saying. These come out.
Oh, okay, yes.
So how do you know her?
Well, we met on a Hodinky video shoot.
Okay.
Yeah. And there was this instant chemistry. It was a really good shoot.
Right.
Nora Taylor was also a part of the video, and it was just really fun. Just three ladies talking about three watches.
What were the watches? You don't remember, do you?
I wore a Patek Philippe Ellipse.
Okay. Oh,
and
very nice.
she wore a newer gold Cartier Santos, and then Nora wore a Vacheron Patrimony.
Do you say Patek or Paddock?
I say Patek.
I prefer that because when people say paddock, I feel like it's a horse paddock.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know what that is.
It's weird.
A paddock? That's like a field with, yeah.
Wait, you differ. You
Can
think
you come on as a Foley person?
Foley.
Do you know what a Foley person is? They're the people who make sound effects in movies. Like when, like when, like the sound of a breaking bone, they use they snap celery.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Man, I could go off on a real tangent.
Go on. Then we have it. It's not like we haven't gone on any tangents.
No, you know what? I'm not even gonna go there. But I realized that I talk about watches a lot, and Malika started getting invited to more and more events, and we would always have these.
Out.
Yeah. Literally, we would have these really fun conversations about what's going on in the watch world, who's wearing what, and I was just like, this could be a podcast.
So I feel like everything is a podcast.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, that's the nightmare scenario.
I was in the mall the other day, as one is.
The mall?
And
Where?
In New Jersey. Don't ask why.
Did you go to Short Hills?
I think it was. And you know how they have those carts in the middle of the mall where the small people sell stuff? There was a guy with a cart, and it was
like
called
Willy Wonka.
It's called a kiosk.
It was a cart. It was like a wheelbarrow, and it was called "Everything Is a Lighter."
Everything
is a lighter. So
if you want it to be.
Yeah. So I just have everything as a podcast wheelbarrow in the mall. That's what I'm going to say.
With your little puppets.
Good evening. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. Watch these papier-mâché watches dance about.
Yes. Everything is a podcast.
Right. So how's it going?
It's great.
Do you know if it's going well? How do you know? I'm always asking Matt if ours is going well, and he kind of gives me this hey, it's great, which
I give you very accurate information. Things are going well here.
Yeah,
Things are going well.
It's extraordinary, the interest.
Yeah.
I mean, we're number one everywhere.
Higher than the Daily.
That's right. Yeah.
Higher than.
We've knocked off Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're still platformed, so.
This is the number one podcast in South Williamsburg.
That's right. In Secaucus.
I would be honestly shocked because there are lots of menswear podcasts in Brooklyn. Yeah.
Really?
Throwing Fits.
Oh, we can't compete with those guys.
Yeah.
Wait, what's Throwing?
They're the only podcast that matters.
What's Throwing Fits? God, I'm so clueless.
Do you listen to Throwing Fits?
I do.
What is that?
Did you listen to my episode?
No. When was it?
It was in the winter.
What is
the winter of my life.
Hang on a minute. Can we just this podcast talking about how great everyone else's podcast.
Yeah.
Is that a menswear podcast?
Yeah, menswear culture. They're very irreverent. They're very funny, very witty.
I love that word, irreverent.
Yeah.
Oh, we're irreverent.
Oh, that I'm described as irreverent in almost every piece of press about Dimepiece.
Pugnacious?
Not pugnacious, but irreverent. Jaunty.
She's rather jaunty.
Well, so let's talk about the Dimepiece empire.
Oh gosh.
You're 2 years in.
So you've got the wheelbarrow in the mall.
Yeah.
You've got your kiosk.
Everything is a Dimepiece.
In New Jersey.
Yeah, New Jersey, Short Hills. Okay.
But no, what's kind of next? I mean, obviously, you can grow the brand through Instagram.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's awareness and value to watch brands.
Because I want to copy your business model.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I just want to make it more of a destination for people who are newly getting into watches. I feel like I could provide more educational value for people and not get so lost in the sauce of the celebrity and the Instagram and the influencer trips. So kind of just going back to the roots of why I started it, which was to teach myself and teach others about watches from a kind of more accessible standpoint.
Why don't you do why don't you do a YouTube kind of almost like a tutorial?
Yeah.
Where you talk about watches you like that people aren't talking about that might be good for your audience. This is an amazing idea.
Yeah.
This is free, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
But I like 5%.
It never crossed my mind to make a video.
I know. Have you heard of YouTube? Yeah. Are you familiar? YouTube, as it's CH.
Yes. On a Tuesday. I do want to do more videos. I feel like I want to do so much, and I'm almost overwhelmed by the potential
of your amazing idea.
Of my amazing idea, which is sell watches to people who aren't Phil Toledo.
Why Phil? Why Philly?
Toledano.
Why does Philly Toledo? Why won't I want to buy a watch from you? Do you really want? Do you want to kind of? I mean, I guess your thing is clearly women, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. So I guess, but that's such an underserved. What aspect? What other ideas do you think could serve that market? Because I feel like it's wide open, right? I mean, no one's doing what you're doing, really.
Yeah, I feel like more people are. People are like, aren't you afraid that somebody's going to steal essentially what Dimepiece could be?
Well,
but I'm like, no. It's like there can be more than one voice.
There can be only one.
Yeah, I'm just like, you have like Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, Vanity Fair. You have all these different fashion outlets that cater to different kinds of people.
Well, I will say when I see, because when I read Vogue articles about watches for women, I'm always or in the fashion press, and this is a bit of a generalization, but generally it seems to me I feel unimpressed with their imagination. Like generally it seems to be super like girly choices, the obvious choices,
like the styling choices in an editorial.
That's
spread.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's no Hublot Murakami or Jacob and Co.
Yeah.
Godfather.
I feel like they'll throw in. I saw that. I saw the Destro Rolex. You know what I'm talking about?
No. See, now you've outflanked me.
The left-handed one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but that's just a Rolex release.
Yeah, but I've seen, different kinds of watches integrated that aren't just like a jewelry watch.
You know what I do love is that Rolex palm dial.
Oh, really?
You talk about that thing a lot.
I know, I'm really obsessed with it. Look.
Geezers love that watch.
Is it a Giza watch?
I think
that's
it
full
is.
bokeh.
Yeah.
Is it?
That is.
It's
Do I need
giving
my
Geezer.
white Bentley convertible?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of whenever
I'm going to Nobu right now.
Yeah, that's kind of the
Is it?
vibe.
Holy shit, have I turned into that Giza?
Yeah.
Have I reached peak Giza?
It's a lot of linen.
Is it? I feel like is it like slightly inappropriately short shorts? No. What else is peak Giza watch then? Style me, Brynn.
Actually, no. What is that retirement age? That sort of.
Fuck,
I feel like it's less retirement age. It's kind of like a broy.
Is it broy?
I don't know. But
do
a lot
get-
of
I do get
guys bring
broy a
up
lot.
that watch to me. They're like, "What do you think about that palm dial?"
Really?
And I'm like,
You know why? Because I feel like that's the craziest thing Rolex has done
Yeah.
in years.
and
so maybe guys like, yeah, well, I got it.
yeah, we're so hungry for something fresh.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So wait, a lot of people bring you're saying bros bring that up to you.
Not like bros, but like geezers.
Geezers.
They'll be like, "Oh, don't you love that palm dial watch?"
You know why? Because I feel like this is gonna sound pretty judgy. Ready? I feel like
I'm ready for the shade.
Because I feel like if you're in the Rolex world, that's the most outlandish thing you can think of that makes you sound like you're audacious.
Yeah. No, I think you hit the nail on the head with that.
I've been
What about the
cancelled.
rainbow diamond one?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like that's so out of reach. Are you talking about like the Daytona, the rainbow
Yeah,
Daytona?
that's zillions.
Yeah, it's just like it's beyond, and I mean that's exciting, and it's an exciting look, but I'm not looking for that kind of audacity. I don't know.
I wouldn't mind a diamond indices watch. I had one once, like a Rolex from the 50s.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
Oh my
gold.
god. And
Which
I
is
bet it was cool.
It was beautiful.
And it probably wasn't 42 millimeters.
No, it's 36.
It's from
It was
yeah.
36.
So it's like, I want audacity, but like tastefully done.
Right, restrained.
Like it doesn't have to be like
you're in Giza land.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, I feel like that palm dial, it's just like trying a little too hard. It looks like the Beverly Hills hotel wallpaper.
Wow, this is amazing.
She's not wrong.
I'm getting a massive like surprise nut trample right now that I was not expecting, which is I guess the essence of a surprise nut trample. But you know, I'm glad. It's actually interesting. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much does the actual material matter to you? Right? Because like, for example, are you like a silver person? Are you a platinum person?
Well, I don't mind a little heavy platinum on the wrist. I do love a white gold or a platinum because it's very, if you know, you know. Like most people will think it's a steel watch, but you know that it's precious metal.
Right.
But I'm wearing this steel watch right now, and
I thought that was platinum.
Dimepiece don't got it like that yet.
That's season 2.
Yeah, that's season 2. But I don't know. I'm not like keen on one metal. I do wear a two-tone. A 26 millimeter Rolex Lady Date Just.
That's right.
Do you wear two-tone?
Yeah.
I feel like I
felt like that was a challenge.
What?
Do you wear two-tone,
well,
sir?
I feel like when I talk about two-tone, a lot of men in particular are really not about it.
No, I really love two-tone, but I like old-timey two-tone.
Yeah, old-timey.
Because I feel like I have 40s and 50s two-tone. And to me, that works best because that was sort of the origin of two-tone.
Yeah.
And that's when watches were much more jewel-like in terms of the design intricacy. So it really works well. Whereas now it's this kind of 40s, 50s aesthetic being overlaid over kind of 2020 brutalist massive steel watch aesthetic.
Yeah.
So there's a kind of a bit of a jar to me in that respect.
Yeah. It's a little much, but on a vintage watch, it's really nice.
You should get a Rolex Zephyr.
What's that?
It's a two-tone watch from the 50s. It's beautiful. And it's a very unusual dial for Rolex. And they're kind of affordable.
I mean, would you hate it if Rolex reissued the Zephyr? Like, would you?
No. But look, I am so beyond like the normal demographic.
Yeah, I know. And that's what I have to remind myself is I'm like, I feel like I'm coming at it from a very kind of narrow, like in terms of what I want.
Right.
But I'm like, what I want, I don't know if everybody, maybe.
You know what I love is when I post a watch like this on Instagram and then people go, bro, that's super cool. If only why didn't Rolex make it in like 42?
Yeah.
And
do you get comments like
all
that?
All the time. And I'm thinking, it's amazing. Yeah.
Je suis fatiguée. But no, I feel like if the state of fashion right now is indicating a direction that we're going and that we're going to stay in, then people will catch up. I just feel like the watch trends are always a little bit behind. Because it's like...
Okay, so what do you think is going to happen?
Well, I'm just curious if more men are going to gravitate towards these smaller pieces and if we're going to, if all the hype watches and like the bloated pricing is going to drive people out of the modern watches and then people are going to start having to get creative, look on the secondary vintage market and find a Zephyr.
Right. I mean... I'm always that to me is one of the major reasons why I root around in the corners, though.
Yeah.
Because all the stuff. First of all, I don't want to wear what other people are wearing, but also it's also expensive.
Yeah, it's so expensive, just practically speaking. And I mean, the same can be said for these ladies' pieces. Like I feel like Alan and we sell watches very, very. On a very...
You should, just so people know, Alan is a watch dealer. We both are English guy.
Yes.
I call him the Eeyore of watch dealers because he's like, hello, this is Alan here.
He's very British.
He's incredible. He's like a slightly overcast day, but in the best possible way.
I love an overcast day.
We should give him, particularly now, what's Alan's?
Foundwell.
Foundwell, that's right.
So he deals antiques and vintage watches.
Right. I always make fun of him because he goes, he'll say, I've just found the most wonderful silver ashtray in the shape of an elephant's foot from 1923.
Yes, he very much deals in that because he grew up around antiquing. His mother is an antiquer professionally in London. Yeah. But when I met Alan for the first time, a mutual friend of ours was like, you guys should connect. You're both watch people. And he pulled up with a little pouch of little ladies' watches. And it was the first time I had seen a Cartier Benoit, which means bathtub in French.
Thank you.
I went somewhere else with that.
No. Don't even go there. But it was the first...
is it all right to say ladies? I feel like if I said it would be sexist. Is that not...
that's what they are.
I feel like I would either be sexist or be like like, I love your ladies watch.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hello, ladies.
Well,
wouldn't it be like a...
I don't
When
know.
you say it like Gilbert Godfrey, Arthur,
Yeah.
like that's
Okay.
I feel like that's what they've been called in the industry.
Right,
So it's like
okay.
part of the verbiage. And now it's being shook up a little bit and we're trying to make watches genderless. And,
Right.
But for
So
me,
he had a pouch full of ladies' watches.
yeah, I'll call them ladies' watches because they're all vintage. They're all from like the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. Like they were made.
And what was in the pouch?
A Cartier Benoit.
Okay. Yeah.
A really, really tiny Royal Oak. Like
Right.
I'm talking like 25 millimeters.
Okay.
And just a little, maybe a Cartier Art Deco watch, but pieces that I had never seen in the flesh before because nobody had cared to really show me something like this until Alan. And
The Eeyore of watch dealers.
no, well, with me, I get the lofts out. I bring the sunshine.
You certainly.
We complement each other in that way.
Here's a question. I really love a lot of that kind of almost costume jewelry stuff from the 70s, like the serpents or the watch, the bracelets, where the watch is concealed. And you have to
Yes.
sort of
Oh my
open
God,
a
I love a
trap-
concealed watch.
Yeah, we have to open like a little trap
Yes,
door.
so
Like,
cool.
I love it. I've been trying to buy some of those for the missus.
Yeah.
I think they're especially the serpent watches are the coolest.
You mean like the Bulgari?
Yeah,
serpenti?
exactly.
Yeah.
It would actually be interesting. I wonder if you could make that for a guy, like sorry, it just cuts. We haven't paid the power bill. It would be interesting if you could make some version of that for a man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my friend Malika, who's my podcast host, she was Bulgari lent her a Serpenti double wrap watch for the weekend.
Yeah, as one does.
Yeah.
When she was blading out to the Hamptons.
Yes.
That's right.
And her guy friend was sitting at the table next to us, and I was like, "Can you put that on? I just want to see what it looks like."
How did it look?
It looked great.
Right.
And he wasn't like Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Like me.
Yeah. He had a thinner wrist, and what he was wearing definitely kind of invited a more, femme watch.
Right.
And it looked fab on him.
That's so interesting.
you could also do a slightly more aggressive looking snake,
Like a cobra, and it's eating like a man.
Yeah.
Like someone's legs are sticking
like
out
something
of
you
the
find like the
jaws.
Varvatos store.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the python.
But I guess my point
That would be
is
hilarious. Okay, so what would the male version? Yeah, it'd be like a snake, and then and out of the head is sticking out like two
Yeah, two
legs of a guy.
fangs. Yeah, two legs of a
he's
guy.
digesting a man.
Do you actually?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you remember Ghostface? His gigantic like eagle bracelet.
no
Google this. We'll have Alex cut it in here. But Ghostface rapper.
Yeah,
killer.
yeah.
So like had like a whole bracelet that was like a gigantic actual like
Was it like
gold
with
bird
Was it the claws, like the talons, were
holding
on
onto the wrist sort of
Oh,
thing?
amazing.
Oh my god.
So there is a case for a more aggressive animal.
Yeah.
For a men's watch.
Yes, because
Maybe a weasel.
anything for a man has to be really
I
aggressive.
know, right?
Has to. Otherwise not a men's watch. Oh.
Yeah, like a barbell that opens up and there's a watch underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
For
that's
lifting.
Yeah, for lifting, bro.
Yeah.
Like it could be a giant steroid. I'm just brainstorming here now.
Shotgun. Looks like a shotgun. You pull
What if-
back to start the timer.
Actually, you know what would be amazing? The shotgun that wraps around your wrist, like the serpent, but it wraps around.
Wow.
And then you go chick.
Did you hear
my
that?
God.
It's Cabela's calling.
Oh my god.
$1 billion idea, Phil.
This is amazing.
Gun watches.
I'd love to chat further, but I've got to call Cabela's.
Yes. All
got
right.
it. Yeah.
Off you are then.
Off you go.
Off you
Run
go.
along. So, where were we before we went down that rabbit hole?
God, I blacked out.
Well, no. So your friend was loaned and how you're saying it is
The Bulgari.
Bulgari.
The Serpenti.
Serpente.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that can go on anyone. It's really regardless of if you're a man or a woman or whatever gender you identify with. It's really just how you style it, and
You're right.
that's what it comes down to. And I think that men previously have been shown away from ladies' watches because they're like, oh, it's a ladies' watch.
Right.
But you're out here wearing a 28 millimeter.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I find it's weird how elegant a small watch feels.
Yeah.
And then, I was looking at a picture of Clark Gable, as one does, the other day.
Yes.
And he was just wearing like a tiny bubble back, and
Yeah.
it just looked so kind of effortless in
Yeah.
a way. But you're right, like but you can, and oddly enough, I find you can wear those kind of Pateks or those sort of small watches, and this is gonna in just like a t-shirt, and it somehow still looks really
Yeah.
cool.
It's so cool.
I really like it, and plus they're bargoons.
Bargoons.
Bargoon.
Yeah.
Because no one's interested in that sort of stuff.
Well, now they are.
Now, because the
But
reach.
I'm like, I need to shut up because I don't want these watches to get so.
You know what? 45 is the way to
Yes.
go.
If you guys want, maybe suggest Hublot Big Bang.
That's my favorite watch joke. How dare you, madam? The watch sommelier would like to suggest the Big Bang for Monsieur.
But also the ladies' watches, they're so undervalued. Like I have a Alan Foundwell gave me a Hoyer diver.
Yeah.
And it's a little one. It's like 28 millimeters from the 80s. And it has a ghost bezel. It's like, it has the vintage
Feel.
but it has like a ghost bezel, which is like an attribute that one vintage watch collector would be like, oh my God, I need that.
For
and
sure.
they would pay a lot extra for it.
Right.
And it was like, I don't know, $800.
But how
on
big is
eBay.
it?
It's probably,
28?
I think it's 28.
Yeah.
But back in the 80s, I mean, Hoyer was making a dive watch in a range of sizes. And
That's
they
right.
didn't add any other colors because the 28 would look exactly like the 38 did.
Right.
It was just a different size.
Right.
And I miss those days.
You know what you should look at is I have an Omega Seamaster Polaris that's 32.
Ooh.
And it's really nice.
I want to see that.
I'll send you a picture. I think it's beautiful. Integrated bracelet, really beautiful.
Cool.
And it was like $1,500.
So crazy.
Yeah. And Omega was making the most amazing stuff in the 80s.
They were making... I got
Have I touched a nerve?
They flew me out
Here we go.
to Madrid.
Here we go. I went on the Queen Mary for a 3-month-old expenses paid.
They flew.
Unlimited shiatsu.
Yes. A select number of ladies were invited to Madrid to partake in the Her Time exhibit.
Right.
In which they dug up all of the ladies' archival pieces dating back to the 1800s. And it was
Really?
Yeah, and it was exhibited
cool.
in like a museum quality.
Could you try stuff on?
No, they were behind glass. I mean,
see.
these were like old watches. And then you got to see what happened in the 20s, in the 40s, and then the 50s, 60s. And there were so many incredible pieces from Omega. And then
because it just sort of, the last 20 years, I feel like, what have they done? Like James Bond and Speedmaster, right?
I'm just like, you're sitting on such a bountiful archive. And they collaborated with, who's that jewelry designer? God, I'm blanking on the name.
Oh, well, that makes me think of Luzon, or do you know you should look at Pierre Cardin from the 70s.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing
that stuff's
those.
amazing.
Didn't they do Gégé Lecoutre? Didn't they do
Pierre
Cardin?
No, well, I don't think it was. I think it was.
Who was it?
Okay, we're down a rabbit hole.
It's like I've seen recently on my feed like a triangle Pierre Cardin
Uncut Gems.
Yeah, Uncut Gems. But yeah, like those collaborations, maybe not with like.
Those are so cheap.
Yeah.
All that stuff from the 70s is peanuts.
Crazy. Yeah.
I bought one, and then I saw. Do you know who Goldberger is?
Yeah, John Goldberger.
Yeah, so he posted the same watch, and that's like Moses saying you're okay. Yeah, I know, it was amazing. I mean, but
he has the Midas touch.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
but those are amazing bargains. Those
they
things,
are,
and they're really. I mean, they're incredible.
Yeah, I mean, Omega. I mean that level of
How many watches
collaboration.
do you have?
I'm really into that. How many? Well, I bought my first ever watch, which is this.
Right.
Last year.
Okay.
And since then, I've cultivated a little collection.
So, okay, let's see the result of the mania.
I'm trying to think. Well, I got 2 lady divers from Alan.
Okay.
And they're very undervalued. They're not like big ticket items, but I wear them all the time. He gave me my first mechanical watch, which was a lady Seiko diver.
Okay.
And that was really important for me because I got to learn kind of
the joy of winding.
Yeah, the joy of winding, the synergy with the wrist.
Right.
So that's 3. And then I have a 26 millimeter Rolex Lady Datejust that I got with influencer store credit that I got for doing a video with a luxury consignment website.
Your career is amazing.
I was like, oh, that's
Do you get those?
just enough.
I get these emails. I get on Instagram a lot. Is I get emails in the spam box, like from people saying, "We've looked at your feed and we love what you do. We think you'd be a great fit for the brand." And then it's like, like lady socks.
Yeah.
You get that?
I get so much spam.
Right.
I can't even.
So, okay. So there's those 3 or 4.
That's 4. And then my dad recently gave me his Rolex Datejust.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing that on Instagram.
Yeah. He never wore that when I was growing up. He's also a fit god. And he wore like a Sunto.
What's that?
Do you know what that is?
I have no idea.
It's just like it's a digital watch, and it's like really technical, and it's good for like being outdoorsy.
It's like a runner's kind of watch.
Are you a
something.
super outdoorsy person? Are you like hiking and stuff?
I feel like I haven't been channeling that side of, but I really want to move out of the city eventually and just like.
Do you?
And just go full nature mode.
What does that mean? Do you want to have like a van and drive around?
No, a little bit more chic than that.
But that could be. That always. I mean, at least on Instagram, it looks amazing when people have that van life thing.
I'm not about the van life.
No.
I want like just a nice house that is surrounded by nature, and like not have to ever go to the city again.
I mean, I know what you mean, especially now. Ugh. I feel like, what's the benefit of living here?
Oh, it's just grueling.
I mean, convenience.
For what?
Culture.
But I don't do anything.
I feel the same way.
Do you do anything?
No.
Except
people are like, "Hey, you want to go out?" I'm like, "No." I do a lot of watch stuff though.
Right. Well, that's true.
Like I'm always going to.
That could be why though. If you weren't doing that, maybe you know.
Well, if the goal is to just get rich enough that I can just tap
They
out.
could blade you out from Vermont.
Oh my God. Yeah. Vermont's a really good state for climate change too. It's one of the,
That's
I
good
feel
thinking.
like it's immune to, or relatively.
I feel like,
disaster.
I was thinking about that the other day. Like, I feel like I need to move to Canada.
I know. I don't feel.
Now to migration.
Because for climate change, like it's hot as balls here.
It's horrible here and it smells awful.
Because it's August.
It does smell bad.
I know.
It's every August.
Yeah, but you know what? It's getting worse.
It is getting worse.
When I was a kid,
Seriously.
it was freezing by this time.
There's snow on the ground. School's canceled.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You do realize that if you leave the city, you've got to start driving. Do you drive?
Yeah, I drive. I lived in LA for 5 years. So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you like cars?
I don't like cars, but
do you see how I lit up with impossible joy?
Well, then I would start Carpiece and then start disrupting
Wait,
it.
what's timepiece? Does timepiece mean something? Is this some slang the kids are saying?
Are you unfamiliar with the phrase?
Yeah, of course I am.
Slang,
I'm unfamiliar with everything.
Do you know what a dime piece is?
I sure do. I see them
Why
on
don't
the
you
street
tell
all the
them?
time.
Oh.
Tell Grandpa.
You know, okay. When you see a woman on the street who is a 10, or a guy, if you're looking for, like, if you see someone that you would call a 10,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Well, a dime.
Yeah, it's 10
cents.
Yeah, I made that connection.
So, like,
So you say, that's a,
yeah, there
that's
goes
a dime piece.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no
Yeah,
idea.
it's like rap. Like she's
What's
a
the
dime.
5-cent piece called? A nickel. Is there a nickel piece?
A 5 piece.
Yeah, but like,
Like if you see, you're like, it's a nickel piece. Does that exist?
I mean, 2 5s makes a 10.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, does that
Okay.
does nickel piece exist? Like, well, no.
No.
Can it now? Because I made it up.
You can use it as a slur towards women who aren't 10s.
No, it doesn't mean women. It could be anything.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a-
that watch is a bit of a nickel piece.
Well, I feel like the word you're looking for is it's kind of mid. That's what the kids
Oh, is that
are
what
saying.
the kids are saying?
It's mid.
Oh, no. He is too old to use.
I say
First
beige.
of all, we should. None of us should use it. It's dead at this point. But
Mid.
he's too old to be saying mid.
You know what I love to do when I when I go to pick up Lulu at school?
Mm-hmm.
The only joy left in my last years alive is embarrassing my child.
Aww.
So I love what I like to do is, she'll say, "Oh, this is my dad." And I'd go, "I'm just keeping it real, man." And then tap the chest. And it's an unalloyed joy to see the utter horror dawn on the child's face. Where she's like, "Dad!"
How old is she?
13.
Oh,
You should have her on Dimepiece.
Oh, I
She's
should.
really
Does she like
droll.
watches?
Vaguely. I always ask her about watches. Like, what do you think? This one or this one? You know, this strap or that strap? I was like, okay, Dad. But she's got amazing taste.
That's cool.
Yeah. She's very amusing.
I'd love to meet little Lulu.
Yeah.
I need somebody
you know
whose blood I can suck to keep me younger.
I need that. Well, I've been. Yeah, I mean, at night I just drain some. I siphon off some. So this is
Why
what
she sleeps so well.
Yeah, so she's very tired. This is her favorite joke. Like when I'll come home and I'll say, "Hey, is John here?" And then of course no answer. I'll go into her room and she's scrolling away, whatever it is. She'll go and she does this in an English accent. She'll go, "Oh, hello, Father. I see you're still alive.
Oh my God, I love her. Does she have like an American British quasi?
Yeah. Like some
accent?
words she'll say only in an English accent. Weird enough, balls. She says it in an English accent. Because I was always saying, you're always kicking me in the balls when she was young. She was always kicking me in the balls. I said, can you stop kicking me in the balls? Because when she would, she'd come in sleep in our bed or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And anyway.
She says balls.
Yeah, exactly.
To her friends at school. She's like, throw me the ball.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she sounds really cute.
I was going to have her on the show because I would drop her off in various of my oddball cars. I was going to have her on and like review the cars.
Oh, that's cute. You should do videos.
You're right. Wait, could that be a thing?
Yeah. Lulu reviews watches. Lulu reviews cars.
They would all be like 10, they'd be like 10 minutes of eye roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That would be it. It'd be that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cute in itself.
Actually, it'd be interesting. Maybe you should get like a little kid on to review. You know how they have those videos on YouTube of kids reviewing old technology?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That could be interesting to do a segment.
Ding,
See?
ding. Get
What
that
else do you
on,
need?
Get that on Bastardo Corp.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, then. Is that the awkward silence that precedes the end of the podcast? I always like to end on an awkward silence. How long have we been talking? Shit, we've been talking for a while.
You have been.
Wow.
It's true.
You too.
I try to help out. Try to help out.
Brynn, thanks so much for coming on. Should we extend the awkward silence? Oh, that was good. God, you're
it
really
could have
good.
gone a little longer.
I know. So, okay, should we do it again? Oh, I can't.
You do realize that at the end, like we cut the recording and it's silent anyway.
Wait, what?
No one knows it's awkward silence when it ends because you'd have to say something.
I
after.
thought this
Oh
was
my God,
live.
this is getting existential.
I
really
thought this
is.
is very Jean-Paul Sartre. This isn't live? Okay.
No, thankfully not.
Brynn, thank you so much for coming on. Honestly, it's
Thank
been a
you.
huge joy. It's been great.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, and I'm super, it's really glorious to see the success of DIMEPIECE. This phrase that kids are saying. But I'm really into it. So, congrats. And it's great to see, I don't know, just not guys talking about watches. Non-sausages.
The bar is low.
I know it's low, but you're doing it really well because you've got, you're infusing all of it with your sort of unusual sense of humor and observations, which makes it really enjoyable. So anyway, but thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
That's it.
Okay, bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.